Hi, I'm Zach with Josh's Frogs, and today I'm proud to show you our Microgecko care kit. These are aimed at varieties of Sphaerodactylus, smaller Gonatodes, a single mourning gecko, some of the smaller, typically tropical geckos that do well in a smaller environment. They're actually one of the few vertebrate animals we recommend for an 8812 Exoterra Nano tanks. Those really cool tiny tanks that look awesome and just don't have enough room for a lot of animals out there, but they're good for a single variety of some of these species. The kit includes, obviously, the nano tank, the compact top, a very low wattage UV light, thermohygrometer to keep an eye on that. Keep in mind, putting a light on a tank this size can affect the temperature pretty quickly, so you want to make sure you get it up and running and check it on that stuff beforehand. Supplement, generally it'll be a 3-ounce Potassium Calcium Plus, some cork for hiding, a small food and water dish. Plant life, here I poked a little bit of a little philodendron. These kits will actually come generally with smaller varieties of Pilea, smaller plants that stay smaller. Actually, I have a Microgecko plant kit for this environment and won't need much pruning to keep under control. And then this is a 10 quart, but each kit will come with a 4-quart bag of biobedding, or bioactive substrate, as well as a culture of isopods and a spray bottle. So pretty straightforward, and we're going to walk through setting up these kits. I'm actually going to do 3 of them to take to a show. Kind of walk through setting them up, some things to keep in mind and all that. Keep your microgeckos safe and happy at home. Okay, so once again, here we have 3 of our 8812 Exoterra Nanos. I've taken the tops off to make them easier to work with. They do have backgrounds. They're nice backgrounds, but they do have some voids to make it easier to run cables or other things you might want to do in there, which mean also they're great places for your small gecko to hide from you. So you can opt to leave the background in. That's perfectly fine, but realize that your gecko or feeder insects may end up hanging out back there. So be cognizant of that. We'll start by adding in our biobedding. We want to add it to a level that is just below the vent of the door. This stuff already has beneficial fungi in there, and everything you need to keep your plants healthy, as well as keep some happy, healthy microfauna like the isopods we'll add in here. Keep them going. That'll help break down your gecko's waste. And we've actually had quite a few eggs incubated for quite a long period of time, even full term, on this media without any problems whatsoever. You see it already has a little bit of humidity in there. Just going to spread it around, and you want to make sure it's below the vent so we're not clogging any of the ventilation from the tank. Make sure you also are cognizant of what variety of microgecko you're working with. Mourning geckos and all of the tropical species will be great. Whereas some of the other varieties, like the Enclosure we work with, actually needed a little bit more arid. So kind of keep an eye on that and know your animal's temperature and humidity needs. We'll smooth that out a little bit. We'll grab some cork for these different tanks. Cork is a great way. There's a lot of little crevices from the lay eggs or hide in. Even though normally we find they bury their eggs or lay them underneath something on the surface. As well as a bunch of visual barriers. So kind of gonna have fun kind of placing the piece in. Make something that's a little visually appealing, and the animal can get completely out of sight from you. Well, actually, with this, we'll do something a little different. That up there. This guy will go right in the corner there. You can also push it into the background a little bit if you're inclined. A little bit's a real basic philodendron, but which will require some trimming. These plants are going to provide a lot of hiding places for your geckos. We just put them right in the biobedding. If you're not sure about the soil or anything, it's always a good idea to completely rinse those roots. Rinse off the plant. Right here. Once again, make a little thing. You want to bury it right up to the top, right where the roots start meeting the stem is about where you want that dirt level to be. Soil surface level. And a little bit of structure. The idea is you kind of want to put it in a way that's visually interesting and provides a lot of hangouts and hides for your gecko. Because as much as you want to see them, the more they can hide, the much more comfortable they'll feel. The tops here, it's not a bad idea with these microgeckos, especially if you're not going to be putting in adults. These tops have these little holes for the cords, and sometimes they don't fit perfectly flush on this rim. So it's not a bad idea to run a bead of silicone around that and seal them like that just to be safe. Over here. You know, you can see if you look, there's just a little bit of a gap here between the trim. These geckos are small, so make sure all that's covered. Some people even fill it full of sphagnum moss or something like compact top, which will hold your light. Most of these geckos are fine with just slightly elevated over room temperature temps. So the ambient heat from this UV light is going to be plenty. Very few species actually require a spotlight under most temperature situations. But once again, there are plenty of species of these guys, so make sure you're familiar with those temperature and lighting needs directly. We prefer to offer a small, low-level UV bulb whenever possible. Just make sure if you're using UV, the animal can easily get out of it if it wants it to. Too much UV is a bad thing. That's where the cork and the plants come into play. Screw that guy in there. Got to be careful, really. You don't want to touch or get the bulb itself dirty. That can shorten the lifespan and create hot areas, which can cause the bulb to fail. This really sits on really quick, and you notice it blocks off a lot of the ventilation. Thermometer and hygrometer. And you can actually go through to place the probe in the glass. You can run out of the hole in the back or run it through the door, and then this thing actually slides right into the top there, which is pretty clever. Once again, miss the whole thing, I'd recommend checking out the temperature and everything and watching it for a couple days, before you introduce your animals, just to make sure everything's spot on.